Yoga with fibroids can be tricky. For some women, it can be quite uncomfortable to put any pressure on the pelvis. For others, they have no symptoms at all and it's not an issue. Traditional Chinese medicine views fibroids as a result of two issues in the body. So the first one is stagnation, so a lack of vital blood flow and energy, or qi as they call it. So one of the things we'll focus on is circulation and increasing that circulation. Though please know that any type of movement is going to be beneficial for increasing circulation. So if you don't feel like a yoga class today, going for a walk is also going to be really helpful. Dancing, anything that you enjoy that gets the blood flowing is going to help with circulation and as a result, help with fibroids. TCM also sees fibroids as a result of dampness in the body, which is impaired metabolism so that your digestive system isn't working as it should. So while we're not going to do any belly compression today, which might be uncomfortable for some of you, we are going to do a little bit of gentle massage into the digestive system because that can help to get our digestion moving. I do also have a fertility massage series. I'll leave the links below so you can go and find that one. So that one works more deeply into massaging both the digestive system, but also the womb space. So if you're interested in doing some hands-on healing work there, go and check out that series in my online yoga circle. In today's class, we're also going to explore the idea that our uterus is our creative center. So not just for creating life, but also for creating our life, for creating everything we do in our life. And sometimes issues in the uterus can be a sign that we've been blocking our own creative energy. So we're going to explore that today, connecting with yourself as a creative being and exploring any blockages or emotions that come up for you. Let's get into today's class. You might notice we're joined today by my shaggy, very needy little friend. She was in the backyard barking, which wasn't working obviously for the sound quality of my video. So she's in here with us. I'm hoping she'll just sit and settle and won't be an issue. Perfect. She's got the vibe down. She's settled. Well, let's get into this class. So we're going to take a comfortable seat. So for me, that's cross-legged. For you, it might be sitting up on a bolster or a cushion. You might have your legs out straight. Please sit in a way that feels good for you. We're going to do some pelvic circles, and this just means we're going to roll the pelvis and hopefully encourage a little bit of movement in this space, a little bit of blood flow, and also it helps to just connect us in with this space. So you might like to close down the eyes and really just imagine this space in your body. So imagining the womb, almost like you're massaging this space in the body with the top half as you roll the chest around. So inhaling, opening the chest, and exhaling. Let's reverse our circles, inhaling. So you'll notice that this class today will also be quite gentle. We can create blood flow in the body, create movement in the body without doing intense exercise. And the reason for that is because often fibroids are created by a hormonal imbalance in the body. And when we're stressed and we're doing too much and we're pushing too hard, our hormones get all out of whack. So we really want to restore that nervous system, calm our stress levels. And so gentle, slow, mindful movement is a really great way to do that with breath work as well. All right, let's take the legs nice and wide. So my nice and wide might look and feel very different to your nice and wide. So if your legs are a little bit further in or a little bit further out, perfectly okay. I just want you to lean the chest forward. You might rock a little from side to side if that feels good. Notice as I start to sink in, I end up a little further forward than I was before. Just breathing into this space. Good, and then sitting upright. We're going to come onto hands and knees, coming into our tabletop. And just do some circle work here. Still working to create space through that pelvis without creating any tension or pressure on the uterus, on the pelvis at all. So just rock those hips around, getting into your body, really relaxing through the belly. We often unconsciously have been taught to hold that belly in. I really want you to give yourself permission to hang it all out today. Take a seat back towards the heels, rest the forehead down, and then just give the forehead a little rock from side to side. Let's leave one hand on the ground and reach the other hand up towards the tailbone and just gently press into this hand on the ground as you open through the chest. Breathing here. You can rest the forehead down if that feels comfortable. Good, and then reach the other arm out. Other hand comes up onto the sit bone. So it's like you're gently pressing down on that tailbone as also pressing into the ground to find that little twist through the upper body. Good. Reach both hands out in front of you. Step the left leg forward and come into a kneeling lunge. I'm just going to rock and roll the hips here. Like a gentle lizard lunge. Let's inhale as we move forward, and then exhale as we move back. But feel free to make these movements circular. We don't always have to work on one plane. As yogis, we tend to often get stuck in this really linear movement, but I think we need to move round and around, get into all those spaces. Notice what feels good in our body and really lean into trusting to listen to our body and what feels good and not just what we're told to do, which I think is important if you're going to a regular yoga class with a regular teacher who will tell you to do this, 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 and this, and maybe not give you so many options. Let's come to the other side. If you take anything away from my classes, I want it to be everything is optional. And please move in a way that feels good for you. Good, keep moving. Let's move forward and back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Take the knees back. So we've got both knees underneath the hips, and then walk the hands forward. Melt the heart down, puppy pose. Rest the forehead to the mat. Just take a moment here, letting the belly hang. Good. We're going to come into our pigeon pose now. So draw the left knee forward, stretch the right out behind you, and just settle in here. So if your hips are not as open as mine, you want a bolster or a cushion or a rolled up blanket under this hip, and that will just keep you up a little bit higher so you're not feeling quite so much opening. I want you to get into a position that's comfortable for you with as many props as you need, and then see if you can settle here. I want you to bring your awareness to the womb space. So this part of you that sits right in the pelvis, and this is quite an opening pose for that space. We're opening through the hips. I want you to, just in the mind's eye, connect with the womb space. And perhaps noticing any sensations, any emotions, any thoughts that come up for you as you try to do this. And it might just be, I can't do this, this is too hard. And that in itself is telling. That tells me that we need to do a little bit more work in trying to connect with this space and trusting ourselves and trusting this part of our body. So just visualize this space, this womb nestled within your pelvis. See if you can breathe energy down to it. Notice it expanding with the breath and then softening with the exhale. And just noticing and being present to anything that comes up for you. There is really no right or wrong. Maybe it's silence, that's okay too. And then slowly bring the hands back underneath shoulders. Creep the knees in and then take them nice and wide. We're just going to do some more pelvic circles here. So sitting back, rolling around. Just being really comfortable moving in your hips, in your pelvis, and being connected to the space. You can even leave the hips grounded and just move the upper body. Just exploring being fully present in your body. Do a modified cat-cow here. So leave the knees where they are and just inhale, open up through the chest. And then exhale, press into the hands, round, look back towards the thighs. Inhale through the nose. This time we're going to breathe it out through the mouth. Do a bit of lion as we stick the tongue out. Doesn't matter if you feel silly, you're likely doing this at home on your own. I feel silly too. Inhale and then let it go. Inhale, last one. Good. Let's take those hands forward once more, draw the knees in. We're coming to pigeon on the opposite side. So right knee forward, stretch the left leg out. And then come down. Remember, you can use any props that you need. Settling in here. Breathing deep into that womb space. Perhaps even talking to her, saying, it's okay, I'm here, I'm listening. When you're ready, slowly bring the hands back up. I'm just going to bring this back leg around, all the way back around to where we were. Bring the soles of the feet in towards each other. If your knees are quite high, you're just going to use the elbows to gently press them down. If your hips are quite open and your knees already fall down, you might find the earth with your hands and just gently lean forward. And then I want us to add some movement, so just some gentle flutters with the knees. This is our butterfly pose. Keep it gentle, keep breathing fully and deeply into that womb space, filling up the belly. Good. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. You notice I've kept the knees a bit wide, so I've still got space here in the pelvis, not putting any compression. See if you can sit up tall. Good. And then when you come to lie on the back, I want you to come to lie down. Bring the soles of the feet in towards each other, but we're going to keep them halfway. I want you to press the low back in. So there's a bit of activation here through the inner thighs. So you might notice after a little while that muscle starts to get a little tired. Maybe your legs start to do a little bit of butterfly flapping on their own. That's okay. If you want to increase what's happening here, you could do a little bit of bouncing on your own. We're just increasing the circulation in this space, encouraging our body to shake out any emotional baggage that we're holding here in this space. So then just come to stillness. So it's not relaxed down. If you're naturally here and that's as far as you can go, I want you to lift it up a tiny bit more so there's an engagement through the inner thigh. So my natural would be here. This is me engaging. So you might be a touch more than where you can relax into. Keep pressing that lower back into the mat. So lower core is engaged here. Keep breathing. I want you to imagine here as you breathe in, you're engaging up through the pelvic floor. So breathing in through the pelvic floor, up the body, all the way up the spine, to the crown of the head and beyond. And then exhale down through the crown of the head, all the way down the spine and back out through the pelvic floor. So long, full, deep breaths in. And out. So keep that engagement through the inner thighs. If they're starting to lower, you'll notice mine is starting to shake. Releasing here what doesn't serve me. Stay with this visualization of the full body breath. You can breathe out through the mouth if sensations become intense. If at any time it becomes too much, hug the knees to chest. Find a side lying position, hug the knees in. Rest. We'll join you soon. And then take the feet out wide. And just let the knees fall in. Letting those inner thighs rest. And take the legs out long. So I want you to bring your hands to the womb space. So the womb sits just above the pubic bone. So if you find your pubic bone, she's in there. So we're going to stay away from this space. You have fibroids, messing with this space can feel quite uncomfortable for some. I recommend working with a fertility massage specialist. They can work safely into this space and be listening for what feels comfortable for you. Instead, we're going to focus more into the upper abdominal section where we've got all of our digestive organs and just gently work into a massage here. So to start with, I just want you to make some circles on the belly. Clockwise circles. And then I want you to find the belly button. I just want you to make circles, little tiny circles around the belly button. And then I want you to move down 3 finger spaces, making circles as you go. So how far you press in will be up to you. If your digestive system needs a lot of support, you might need to dig in a little deeper, although when you do so, it might be tender at first. Just work gently. And then from 3 spaces down from the belly button, we're going to go and move around and just notice, gently digging in, noticing any spots that feel particularly tender. Gently working into this space. So if you find a spot in your body that's particularly tender, I would recommend researching What is this organ? So if you find that it's your large intestines, that's quite tender, then you can research how to support my large intestine. And this might mean going to see a naturopath. Obviously that would be ideal, seeing a specialist, but for some of us, we do have to rely on a little bit of Google research on our own. Sitting with what does our body need? We're working back up the midline now. So sometimes all we need is a whole lot more water to flush this digestive system out, to support it to work as it needs to do. I'm going to go all the way up the chest. So obviously moving out of the digestive system now into this chest space, no longer feeling quite as easy to press or on bone on the rib cage. Good. And then release the hands down, palms facing towards the sky. Keep breathing into this womb space. Full deep breaths in and out through the nose. I'd like for you to imagine in the mind's eye what you would like your life to look like. I don't want you to put any restrictions on. I don't want you to try and be realistic. What is the ideal vision you could create? If money were no object, if time were no object, if physical limitations were no object, let yourself envisage what you would like to create in your life. Imagine the big things, but also the small. How do you start your day? What do you see when you first open your eyes? What's the first thing that you taste, that you smell? What can you hear as you start your day? What are those tiny moments of joy that you want to imagine as a part of your life? Is it being able to look at the horizon across the ocean every day? Is it being able to sit in a forest, to tend your own veggies, maybe to work in an office? It doesn't matter what your creative vision is. It's yours and yours alone. There's no right or wrong. I want you to imagine your womb space now. This warm, comforting, vibrant space in your body that all of creation is made from, that all of life starts within. Trusting that it's safe to listen to your intuition. Trusting that it's safe to listen to your creative urges. Trusting that you are safe. I would like for you to stay where you are, continuing to breathe into this space. As I draw an oracle card, I'm just listening as I read. Let these words wash over you. If you could wish for anything at all, what would you wish for? What would you love to be, have to do? Relax for a moment. Bring your awareness to your heart center and imagine your perfect life in fine detail. Take your time. Breathe. Explore. Know that all is possible within the world of spirit. Allow your heartfelt yearnings and imaginings to flow through to you from the center of your soul. As you visualize your perfect life, imagine that you are planting the seeds of your future and that your wish is on its way to becoming true. Keep the vision alive in your heart. Nurture it until it manifests into your physical reality. Imagine yourself surrounded by love and light as you declare the following. From now on, I plant seeds of love through my every thought, word, and action. All that I would love to be, have, and do already exists inside me and will manifest at the most perfect time. An aura of light surrounds me. My heart is an endlessly flowing stream of liquid gold. I am blessed. I love that that echoed the same vision that I was asking you to create. So give yourself a few more moments now just to sit in that awareness, in that envisioning of your perfect life. Let the energy of your heart and your womb guide you. And keep breathing deep until you hear the sound of the singing bowl. Take your time, slowly returning. Wriggle fingers and toes, rolling to one side when you're ready. Coming on up. Bringing the hands to heart, bowing down the head. Coming here at the end of our practice to honor yourself in all of your glorious, imperfect, human version of yourself. Honor that version. Allow yourself to envisage everything you desire, but also accept the perfectly messy version of yourself that sits here today. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. If you would like to practice other fertility yoga classes with me, I would like to invite you to join my online yoga circle. So that's my membership community where I have classes for the different stages of the cycle when you're going through a fertility journey, fertility conditions, and then we move into pregnancy, birth, and postpartum recovery. I would love to see you over there. Namaste.